All right, we're live. So tonight I'm using some different pencils. We're using these Primo. They're yeah, Primo pencils from Generals. I normally use these normal orange Generals, and they're great pencils. They really are. I've been wanting to try these out for a while, but I haven't found them anywhere local. I found some local tonight, so I bought a pack. We're going to try them out. If they don't work out good, then we'll switch over and we'll just go to the old school Generals. But we're going to try these for tonight. So appreciate y'all stopping by. And, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the tractor we're drawing tonight. Nice looking Massey Harris 44. My only claim to fame, I won a slow tractor contest, driving contest, when I was like 8 years old on a Massey 44. And that's all I got. That's the only claim to fame I have of the Massey. It's the only time I ever drove one was in that contest. So I've already got the outline done, and I'm just ready to get started. So to get started, I'm going to take one of these brand new pencils that I've got, and we're just going to see what she does. So I'm going to start in this hub right here. Might have to find some better lights in this room. Not sure. It's kind of nerve-wracking to be starting a new drawing. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to get some better lights. Alright, hopefully that's better. There's a few shadows here, but nothing like what it was every time I moved my hand. I'm not used to recording this late at night. Normally there's some sunlight here. I need to invest in some better lighting in here for this, but I've invested enough technology for the time that I really can't afford the lights. So anyway, how often do you go live and draw? It's normally about once a week, though I'm trying to get ahead on some YouTube stuff. I'm going on vacation next month, and I want to be a month ahead by the middle of May when I go on vacation. So I'm trying to get a month's worth of YouTube content. And the best way I found to get YouTube content is to draw live, record it, and then I can break it up and do smaller stuff out of that. So great question. So one thing I'm fighting on this picture, this reference picture that I've drawn, or I'm drawing off of, the tires were really wet, and they're creating a pretty unique scenario for me, where I have to change a lot from what I normally do. Normally I just draw what I see, but with this one, if I draw what I see, there's unfortunately quite a bit of there's quite a bit of wet tire here that just doesn't look right. So I'm kind of fighting myself, and I'm drawing a dry tire. So we'll see how it turns out. All right, it's got a nice feel to these new pencils, I'll say that. John Deere guy, but old Farmalls and Masseys are arguably the best looking tractors ever. You know, I was looking at this Massey a little earlier today. What I've come to realize on this Massey, it almost looks as if they took the grill off a Farmall, the back end off a Farmall, and the side hood off of an Allis Chalmers. I really like these things. Good looking tractors, that's for sure. I've never been a Massey guy myself. I used to tractor pull, and I got whooped by several Masseys, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So I probably should have taken some time and actually like tried these pencils out before going live, but I didn't. I figured we'll get to learn together whether I like them or not. It's quite possible I won't like them. Alright. So far so good though. Not sure the white is my favorite. I might have to switch over the white here soon. We'll know pretty soon, I think, on that. Not sure. We'll see how it blends. If it doesn't blend, then I'll switch. I do like the black though. That's a nice charcoal pencil. My 78 Scottsdale. You're persistent, I'll give you that. How many tractors do you have? Currently, I only have 2 tractors. They're both garden tractors. Growing up, I was around tractors a lot. The only tractors I have right now are garden tractors. So, yeah, all right. So, I'm liking the way this black fills in, but unfortunately, the white's not filling in for me. So, I'm going to go over this and I'll blend it. And if it doesn't work, I'll grab my other white and we'll go for it that way. I'm not sure yet. Growing up, we had a little farm, and spent a lot of time on the farm between my grandfather's farm and my dad's little farmette that we had. And then my dad was a farm mechanic, so I got to do a lot on farms. Well, I mean, that doesn't look terrible. I'm not sure how it's going to blend. I feel like I'm getting a little glob here of some sort. Sometimes in charcoal pencils, you think about it, it's just burnt up wood. You'll get a glob or two as you're going about. That's no fun. Yeah, this one already picked up a glob. Let me get a sharpener out and see if I can get rid of it. See if she's smooth. Yeah, she's smooth again. That's unfortunate because I was really liking that pencil until I got that glob. That's what happens when you say nice things about pencils, right? I'm going to get the blender out. See what she does. I'm just going to go down each of the bars here just to kind of smash them in a little bit. These bottom bars aren't even going to show up that much because we're going to darken this a lot. I just want them to be kind of sort of in there. And then come in between with some gray. This Massey looks really good. It does look good. Where did you farm at? So our farm was in northern Maryland. I was right on my house where the farm I lived on. It was only about 16 or 20 acres. We leased out some land also. We were right on the Maryland-Pennsylvania line. Like I could see the line from my house. As a matter of fact, the first time I drove a truck was on Line Road, which runs between the two states. I was like 8 years old driving a truck on the road. Anyway, my grandfather's place was about 25 miles south of there, a little town of Westminster, Maryland. And that's where I did most of the farming. Learned a heck of a lot growing up on a farm, I'll say that. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'll be honest with you, it's some of the best learning you can have is living on a farm. Not just where your food comes from, but hard work and how to fix things and how to just survive. It's a great lifestyle. I really hate that my kids didn't get to experience that. At least to an extent they did, being around us. But let's face it, I raised city kids, unfortunately. Alright, that blended pretty nice. Not the best ever, but pretty nice. So I'm gonna keep working with these. We'll see what we can get. If I don't like it, I'll never use them again. But I'm gonna try to finish up at least this drawing with these pencils. I do like the sharpener that came with it. It's a nice, bright, sharp point. I have enjoyed that part of it at least. Got a few little bolts here on the hub. Not a ton. We have about 1,000 acres, but for Iowa it's not really that much. Yeah, it's not. I actually live in Nebraska right now, right next door to you, bud. I live just south of Omaha, and I live in town. I moved off the farm when I was going into high school. We still have my grandfather's farm, but the farm I lived on we moved off of, and we didn't sell any of the tractors. We ended up having, an acre and a half of land with like 15 or 20 tractors at any given time. I took up building automation controls and started doing that type of work, and that led me to the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. I love it out here. So we're surrounded by a bunch of big farms too in this area. My grandfather's place was a pretty big farm for Maryland, and I mean relatively, and it was only like 100 acres plus some leased land. It's nothing for out here, but it's cool. When I moved out here, one of the first things I noticed is all the toys that I used to play with as a kid, growing up. All the toy tractors, I actually got to see them in person, because we don't have that big stuff, in Maryland. It's pretty cool to see. You get stuck on the road behind them, like, oh, I used to play with that. Something like that. Have about 9,500. That's big. My cousin lives in Nebraska. He lived in Wakefield, but moved further east. Okay, I'm about as far east as you can get. I'm only about 10 miles from Iowa myself. I'm going to lighten some of these areas up just a little bit. We'll come back to that just for a little bit here. Spend a little time on the non-bar portion, on the flats of the tires. Yeah, that's the portion I wanted to spend a little time on right there. Hey guys, thanks for stopping over YouTube. I see a bunch of you over on YouTube. I appreciate you stopping by over there. Really trying to get that channel going. It's a better platform for art than TikTok is. Though TikTok's a better platform to get anything going, so we're using both for now. Eventually I'll be all on YouTube, so if you want to make sure not to miss me, better follow over there. How's that for a shameless plug to get people to follow me? Okay. Alright, well, I'm okay happy with that. I'm not sure. We won't know till we get like more done. I think when I get to the hood, I'll be able to tell if I like these pencils like enough to keep going on another drawing with them. I'm going to move up to, I'm going to try to do, what am I going to try to do? Try to do the whole seat and fender, steering column, that whole area. That's what we're going to do next. How do you get the wheels so round? Mine always look kind of funky. Alright, I'll tell you the secret. If you don't tell anybody. I'm just kidding, you can tell everybody. So when I'm doing the stuff on, when I'm doing a lot of drawings, I'll use a charcoal transfer method. And if you're interested in that, go to my channel on YouTube. Find the Let's Draw series, I think it is, or Draw With Me series, I think I called it. And there's one on there that shows you how to do it. It's basically the beginner's guide to how to draw things. You can use a what they call a charcoal transfer method, where you take a picture, just a normal printout of a picture, and then you draw on the back of it. You color up with charcoal, And then, just like carbon paper, you can use that to trace on the front of it and get a picture of what you're drawing. That's what I do when I'm trying to draw a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. It's the quickest way for me to do it. I could sit here and draw everything out, but that would just bore me. It would bore you, and I wouldn't be able to grow my stuff. So I can do that. And then it's just putting some shading in the bottom, and like here, we'll go a little more, and then these blending stumps really help. So just kind of put the shading in everywhere. So you draw exactly what you see, and that's the best advice I was ever given on drawing, because your brain's going to tell you to draw a tire, and what you're going to do is draw a circle, but there's not a single circle in here, not one. So hi Sam on TikTok. It's nice that you got the same name when you come over to YouTube. Then I can say, hey, that's Sam from TikTok. Thanks for stopping over. I appreciate it. It's a much better view over on YouTube, isn't it? What made you like drawing so much? I was actually thinking about that a little earlier today, of like what really got me into it. And drawing was the one thing that pretty much anybody can do. It don't matter if you have money. If you got pretty much anybody can get their hands on a pencil. We didn't have a lot growing up. I had hand-me-down toys from my brother, and that type of stuff. But all in all, we didn't have a ton. So I did what I could with what I had. And one thing we had tons of, my grandmother used to work at a restaurant, and they changed menus at the restaurant, and it was like a placemat menu. And she would always bring us, when they changed menus, she'd bring us the extra menus they couldn't use anywhere. And I'd turn them over, and I'd have free drawing paper. And I would draw, get crayons, get color pencils, all that stuff. And of course, what do you draw when you start drawing things? You draw whatever happens to be around you. Well, what happened to be around me was a lot of tractors, a lot of cows, and a lot of baseball stuff, because I like baseball too. And so I just started drawing all that stuff, and it was the one thing that was my thing, where it wasn't my brother's thing, it wasn't anybody else's thing, it was my thing. I could draw. So I've been drawing my entire life, pretty much. When I got to be an adult, I kind of gave up on drawing. It's like, that's what kids do, right? Kids draw. Well, I got my first tattoo back in 2011, 2012, sometime in there. And I watched a tattoo artist draw, and I realized this is a grown-ass man that's drawing drawing pictures for a living. I'm like, man, I want to do that. But I don't really want to be a tattoo artist. So I went home that day, and I took his tattoo drawing style, and I tried it out on paper, and by golly, it worked. And my first drawings were okay, and they just kept getting better and better every time I would draw. And then I burnt myself out. I tried to kind of do this somewhat professionally. I tried to sell stuff and all that, and I did too much in too short a time. I burnt myself out in 2012. So. Alright, small town cafes, the best art. They can't draw unless I really feel like it. I have to be in the right mood. You know what? There's a lot to be said about that. I'm kind of the same way, but if I find the right things that I want to draw, I can always kind of get myself in the mood to draw. My problem was when I tried to do it, professionally. I would draw what everybody else wanted me to draw. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you make money, right? The problem is I burnt myself out because I was drawing stuff I had no interest in drawing, just for the money of it. So I have to limit myself on that. I do very little now for money. It's not something I'm interested in drawing myself anyway. So I love drawing though. It's just so relaxing. I can have one of the worst days at work. Just sit down with a couple pencils and a blank piece of paper, and just go for it. I also got a new eraser I'm trying out tonight. It's a Black Magic Factus 18 Black. Never used this before. Man, I'm liking that so far. That's the one thing I really do like. So, all right. Sorry about my spelling. Yeah, no need to apologize for spelling. I get the point across most of the time what you're saying. And, spelling's not everybody's strong suit. And, my dad went his entire life without being able to spell much of anything. I want to show you something here. Well, I got you. This is going to be one of those times where I'm going to cut this out of the recording, but this is kind of important. Let's go to this scene for a second. So, like I said, my dad was a very smart guy. He was a farm mechanic for most of his life. And I have this drawer here, which is full of a bunch of rivets, right? Just like little pop rivets and like hammered rivets, all types of rivets, right? My dad couldn't spell, and when he passed away, my brother gave me this. It's backwards, I think, on the screen, but it says ribbits, like a frog makes the sound, ribbit, ribbit. So he did his best. Everything was labeled in his garage, but they were all labeled stuff like that, ribbits instead of rivets. Anyway, so yeah, you never have to apologize for your spelling in front of me. Let's go back to that drawing. Okay, there we go. You have to come see some of my drawings on my account. Absolutely, I will. You do drawings on TikTok? Tell you what, do me a favor, tag me in a couple of them. I'll take a look at them. If you tag me in something, I'll look at it. I look at pretty much everything I get tagged in, but I love looking at other people's drawings. It's one of my favorite things of doing this is getting to see other people, getting to see, especially kids are, sending messages, and whatnot, saying, "Man, I drew this because I saw you draw," and it just makes my day. I love just inspiring people. It's been so much fun with that. Had not just kids, had a bunch of people do that. Some adults too, sending me messages saying, "Thanks for drawing. This is what I drew," and they'll send me pictures. Absolutely love it. So keeps me going, keeps me motivated when I see stuff like that. I appreciate the messages that I get, all types of messages, stuff like that, and other stuff. So, all right. Awesome. On these brake pedals, independent rear brakes. Guys, I got a song stuck in my head. I've had it stuck in my head all week, and it's quite annoying. Everybody ever heard the song "Got Out of Buffalo"? It's quite an obnoxious song from a band out of Texas that took some old movies from like the 70s, late 70s, and he narrated them with a song. The whole thing is like, "There's a guy on a buffalo," something like that, and it's been stuck in my head. There's so much of that song stuck in my head all week. It's not a good song to be stuck in my head, and it's like playing in my head right now. Really badly. Really badly. It's kind of a fun song, but it's not something I want stuck in my head. See? Bad at spelling. I thought you spelled spelling wrong there. I was hoping that was on purpose if you did, but you did not. So sometimes I'll spell things wrong and be like, "I'm bad at spelling." Anyway, I mentioned that before. My dad, couldn't spell worth crap, but he was so smart. He was very successful in life. there was times where me and my mom, he drove a battery truck for a while, and me and my mom would do the inventory on his truck every night because he could barely read to be able to do it. And we would do this. So I was doing battery inventory when I was, I'm not very old. Just trying to keep him in his job, and we do his inventory for him. He found ways around it. He'd sound things out. He did very good with everything in life. But I remember one day I was in middle school sometime, and I don't know, Dad came to the school for one of the parent-teacher things or something, and I was bragging to him about how I did really good in this, and the stupider kids didn't. And he reamed me out for calling somebody stupid. And I don't know, didn't make that mistake again with him. He said, "What makes you think you're any smarter than anybody else? Because you got good grades." More to life than grades and book smarts. And he was so right on that. But me being young and dumb, I thought I knew everything. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to blend here for a little bit. Oh yeah, I got this spring. I want to get the small blender for the spring. I can do everything except English. He's true. Yep, I learned from him that, so I never make fun of anybody for how they spell. The fact of the matter is, you're communicating. You're doing fine. I understand what you're saying, and you definitely can be successful in life without the book smarts. I did really good in school, but mostly because I didn't apply myself. I had perfect grades, but it was only because I would go to school and I'd take the easiest classes I could, just so I could get out of school and go wrench on tractors or whatever. I didn't care a bit about school when I was in it, and some of the stuff I wish I would have paid a little more attention to. It could have definitely helped me in life, but most of it, pointless. Okay. Well, so far, I think this is looking good. Okay. Happy doing, man. I'm really appreciating you guys over on YouTube tonight. We got a good crowd over there. Leave some comments. Tell me where you're from. If you're over there on the YouTube, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Alright. Did I don't remember if I smudged up here or not. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't. Alright. So I'm thinking about doing a few more tutorial drawings and stuff. Showing how to use the tools that I'm using properly. How to draw things, all the good stuff. Anybody be interested in that if I did a few of those? Let me know in the comments. So I'll waste my time doing it. I won't do it. But if there's people interested, well, then I might do it. Oh, I'm pretty sure you guys are getting to hear my neighbor coughing his lungs out on his back porch behind me. I assume that's coming through. He can probably hear me talk too. Okay. I'm digging it. What did did you struggle with most in school? Great question. For me, it was, when I was younger, it was spelling. When I got to be a little bit older in school, how's it? I struggle with the extra classes, the home ec, the stuff, the health classes. I think really was the ones I really struggled with. I after middle school though, I never applied myself to anything that was challenging. So I think just staying focused was my biggest struggle. My mom would let me, I would have dropped out in high school, but she wouldn't let me, and I'm very glad she didn't. I just wanted to go to work, so I ended up finding my compromise. I found a work-study program where I could get out of school for 3 classes out of the 4 per day for my senior year. So I took an internship to get a work study going, and man, that was awesome for me because I didn't have to go to class, and that was just great for me. All right, this section here, I think, is where we're going to find out if I like these pencils or not. Y'all hear my dog barking and stuff in the background. The neighbor's dog's outside. The neighbor's yelling at him, and my dog started barking at him. And now he's in the background making all types of noises. Hey, knock it off back there. So loud for no reason. Okay. Hey, stop. I think he just wants his attention there. Yeah, this will work. Okay, let's put a little shading here in the exhaust pipe so you can see where the hood's cut up for that a little bit. Do you sell your drawings? Sometimes I do. Most of the time, if somebody asks me for the drawing that they asked me to draw, I'll send them a digital scan for free. But if they want the original, I just asked them to cover my cost. It's anywhere from $30 to $50 to ship it, to the U.S. and normally it's about $30. So I asked if they want to tip more than that, they can. I'm actually going to probably put a few of my drawings on eBay here soon because I've got a few that I really like that are a little bit better than just throwing them into a binder and never letting the world see it. I'm thinking about selling some of them, try to get some money out of them. So that's coming soon. I actually just started the eBay account tonight. So How old do you think I am? I know this is weird. I'd say probably somewhere in your teens. I don't really know. That is a weird question. What type of dog do you have? It's a black lab. He's got some health issues going on right now. Having issues with liver failure, unfortunately. So he's hanging out with me a lot. He has these moments where he just gets really dumb and does really stupid things, and the brain's not working right, so he tries to destroy the house. And I laugh a little bit as I say that. It's kind of a serious matter, but it's really sad to see. So he's hanging out with me quite a bit here lately, doing my drawings when I'm working, and pretty much just all the time here. He's a pretty good dog otherwise. I got some medicine for him that seems to be working a little bit, but it's not 100% yet. Okay. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of white in the frame rail here yet, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to color everything in here black. Try to get all this little bit of stuff that I threw in from the frame rail and whatnot to shine through. That's my goal. See how it works. I guess while we're at it, I'll fill this in too. I'll have to put some detail in that in a little bit. 13, so you're right. Yeah. I probably would have guessed 13 or 14 if I had to be more specific. All right. This will be the spot where it starts really looking like a tractor sticking off the page, if these pencils are worth anything. We'll see in a minute here. And it's not the pencils either, it's just my skills. I'm very used to working with the other pencils that I've been using for a long time. I have zero experience with these, so everything I'm doing here I'm kind of learning as I go. The feel of them, you wouldn't think it makes a lot of difference, and it really doesn't. One thing I've noticed, they're easier to sharpen. I really like that. Sharpening charcoal pencils is normally a real pain in the butt. I've noticed they've got like a crisp feel to them most of the time, and they feel really good to shade in with. I've had a few little, I call them gumballs, that seem to be in the way, but just, one turn on the pencil sharpener, they seem to go away. You're going to have that in pretty much any charcoal pencil, but these have had a few already. Okay. Alright, let's get the big fat blender out for this one. The biggest blender I have. Probably the biggest blender they make. It does really good for engine compartments though. Go around that for a minute. Come back to it. I just want to go lightly over that so it kind of sticks out. I'm going to have to hit that frame rail again. It's a little dark. There's a guy in the picture that I'm drawing off of, but we're not going to include him in the drawing. It's not that we forgot about him, I just don't like drawing people. Okay. Alright, this is going to look good once I lighten up this frame rail again. Let's find where it that here. Go down through here. And right in there. Something like that. Sort of like that shape, I think. And I'm going to smudge it in a little bit. And then a few little spots. There's like that shape, and then right here, the top of the frame rail. Get that in there. Okay. You play guitar? I do. I do play guitar. I play at my church. I play bass guitar mostly. I play guitar, bass guitar, electric guitar, acoustic, a little bit of keyboards, not much. Love guitar. I assume you guessed that from the guitars behind me. Up on the wall. I do like playing them. Alright, that's looking pretty darn good. Can I hear something? No, because I'm not playing right now. If you hear something, it's probably in your head. Just kidding. No, I don't play guitar on TikTok. I have occasionally on my other channel, Jokes from the Bunker, but my comedy channel. But I don't play any guitar on here. I also normally wear a hat on here. I'm not wearing a hat today. My long flowing locks are showing. Okay. So these Masseys have a little bit of a dent in the hood right here. It's not a dent, like it's meant to be there. It's just, it looks like a dip. I guess a dip is the better thing to say. Dents makes it sound like it's not supposed to be there. Divot, dent. I don't know what you call it. Yeah, I'm not playing guitar on here. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. How long have you been on for? 50 minutes tonight. 50 minutes so far. Another 15 minutes I'll be done, if not before. Not a lot left to do. The grill's pretty simple. Front tires are pretty simple. Weight brackets are always simple. And not a lot there, so. I'm going to sharpen this black pencil here quick. And then just got to find the shape of these holes in the grill. Fill them in. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to sharpen my white. I want to get a crisp line. This is one of those little details that will really make the whole thing look good here in a second. I'm just going to, alright, I'm going to add in the detail. So, right here at the top of this, pressing very faintly. Just want to get some white across the top of these. You can actually come down a little bit on the sides. This will just give it the extra dimension that you see in my drawings for the grill. Just a little bit of light hit the top of these rails. That's all that is. And this will darken up some as I smudge it. You can come back and hit it again if it does. Alright. What's up? Aiden Aguilera. Okay. Been watching the whole time. Awesome. There's been a few people watching the whole time on YouTube that just not saying much. I see you in there. You can't hide. Appreciate you stopping by. You don't have to say anything. I just appreciate you watching. It's been one of my better YouTube lives as far as average watch time and everything. So I'm just keeping an eye on that as I go, and it's already looking pretty good. So yeah, that right there is what made it, isn't it? That last little bit. Let's a little bit more in here. Crisp up these edges just a little bit inside of here. Fine blending stump. I'm seeing something here that I've kind of missed. This is not as dark up here. Gotta lighten that up just a little. This one kind of the same way here. It's a little reflection of like a tree or something here that I just wanted to catch because it makes it look much better if it's there. I am digging these new pencils. The more I spend time with them, I think they're going to be keepers. Little seam right here, just barely there, but it's there. So grab this seam right here. Front right here, like that. Alright, now we got a little bit of. Do you like interacting with people when drawing? Yeah, it beats me talking to myself. I mean, I'm going to be talking the whole time whether somebody's interacting or not. I just end up looking crazy if I talk to myself. So yeah, I do like people interacting. It makes the time pass a little bit more. Definitely like when people interact a lot. Like a lot. Okay. This weight bracket, we've got a little bit here where the bolts are on the front. And I've got a few bolts here. The rest of this doesn't have much in the way of dark spots. It's really not much at all. Shade that in, but we'll color it over. Shade this in, but also color it over. Okay. So, like that. This crazy thing happened while farming. We had a time where we had a cow that rejected her baby, and we went in. We came home. I was pretty young on this one. I barely remember it, but we got home and the cow was making all types of noises, and we looked over and she was throwing the baby up in the air, like 30 feet in the air, and it would land and she'd do it again over and over again. My brother had to go in, Dad and brother had to go into the fence and pull them out, and I guess, you know, ended up saving that calf's life. But it was kind of terrifying as a kid to, you know, see this baby being thrown up in the air, baby calf being thrown up in the air. That was pretty crazy. And then my grandfather was kind of clumsy on the farm, and I was driving a hay wagon one day, and he was riding on the back of it, and he started to fall off the top of the wagon, and I naturally reacted by trying to stop the tractor. Well, I panicked, and instead of pushing the clutch and brake in, I just grabbed the select-o-matic shifter and pulled her back. And it didn't help the situation. He almost fell off even harder then. Kind of crazy. That was bad. What else? I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of crazy stuff happen on the farm. Alright, what is next? We got front hub of these tires. Put the valve stem in. Sometimes I take the valve stem out. That's a detail I'm going to leave in for this one. Center hub. See if there's a lug nut. Let's just say there's a couple lug nuts there so we can see them. The rest are hidden. Believe me, they're hidden. It's colored over top of my valve stem. After I said I'm going to keep it. There's no shadow there on my reference photo, but it feels like it needs to be there, so I just added it. Alright. Find a blending stump that's got a wider tip than what I had. Goat buck instead. Not good. Yep. Well, my grandfather very, always accident prone, always hurting himself in some way. We always joked that he was like had his own room at the hospital, and he was always hurting himself. He ended up getting killed in a tractor accident. He got the leg of his shorts caught in the shifter. A man never wore shorts in his life. My grandmother bought him a pair of shorts, and he was wearing them on the farm. He had a 574 International tractor, and he got his leg caught in the shifter, knocked it into gear. Now he's almost 80 years old at this point. It knocked him off the back of the tractor, and he ended up falling, landed on the mower that was behind it, and the mower's off, but it drug him through the dairy in the barn, and ended up going through a block wall. They medevaced him out of there, sent him to shock trauma, and unfortunately laid in the hospital and suffered for a year and a half before he finally passed away from it, injuries. So that's probably the craziest thing that happened while farming. I wasn't there that day, though. We was at a tractor pull a couple hours away, and my dad took off and drove home as fast as he could, and they went to the hospital in Baltimore, and yeah, didn't think he was going to make it, and he made it a long time, and then he didn't make it. So I'm going live tomorrow. There's a good chance I will. I'm trying to do a bunch of lives this week. Just trying to draw a bunch of stuff. I haven't picked out what I'm drawing yet, though. I got to find something good to draw before I go live and draw it. Well, about to call this one a success. I do think I like the other charcoal a little better, but this works too. So. Send a picture of what you should draw. You're welcome to send something. No guarantees on if I draw it though. I get so many requests. I've got a big folder on my computer full of ideas to draw. Trying to find a good combine to draw. Problem I'm finding with combines is I get two types of pictures sent to me to draw a combine. I get sitting in a shed with either terrible lighting or no header on it, or sitting in a field with 4,000 corn stalks that I don't feel like drawing. I don't feel like drawing corn stalks, y'all. I don't feel like drawing individual blades of wheat. I feel like drawing tractors. Combines, trucks, not dirt bikes. That's so cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It turned out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. Let's see. Yeah, let's sharpen my white pencil so I can sign it with a nice crisp line. Okay. Nice sharp white point. It's a little faint. I'm gonna go over it with a sharp black point, hit some details of it. There it is, y'all. How do I request drawings? Hit me up on Instagram. That's the best way to do it. Facebook or Instagram, either one of those. It's either Tractor Art or Clem's Tractor Art, depending on what social media platform you're on. I always try to get Tractor Art. Sometimes it's not available, so I do Clem's Tractor Art. That's CLEMS Tractor Art. That's the best way to get in touch with me, to send me stuff. If you can't get it that way, just hit me a message or hit me in a comment somewhere and ask, how to send stuff, and I'll try to get in touch with you a little better that way. I can't draw everything I want to draw or everything that everybody wants me to draw. Unfortunately, it's just not enough time in the day here. Have a good day before you leave. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So that's what I was looking at, and that's what I drew. Pretty good. That's what I got, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, if you haven't already, go over to my YouTube and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube and you haven't already, go to my TikTok, Instagram, follow. Be very much appreciated. I don't know. I like drawing. This one was fun, and she turned out pretty good. New pencils. We're dealing tonight with General Brand. General Brand Primo pencils. I had a General 3B and a General Blanco 59W. So it's a 59 3B and a 59W. Primo's been a pencil company since 1889. They make great pencils. Everything pretty much that I use is General. I mostly use these orange cheap General pencils. They're great. Tonight I tried a little more expensive Primo brand from General. I don't know which one I like better. Kind of torn on both of them. Anyway, y'all, appreciate, and that's the end of our live tonight. So I appreciate everybody. We'll catch you later. See you next time. I'll probably be live sometime.